Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hey Auntie Cherry, hey Robert. Can y'all hear me? If you can, put a one in the chat and let me know if you can hear me, please. How's everybody Monday afternoon? I ain't gonna be up here long. I'm gonna share these two little videos and I'll be done. Let's see. Hi Auntie Tracy. How's everybody doing on this Monday afternoon? It's not that hot today. Thank you. I love this weather when it's not so hot. Love me for real. Hello, how you doing? I hope everybody's having a great Monday. I just got two videos I'm going to share with y'all today. Part one and part two. Um, how this lady here, her mom and her husband portrayed her. They was both narcissists. So she's a big YouTuber. She's been off YouTube for a couple of months to get herself back together after her mom and her husband portrayed her. Because you got family members can portray you now. Your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife. You got people that's close in your corner will portray you. Yes, they will. Okay, those are narcissistic people. Okay, and they love to do nasty things. Hurt your feelings. They have no empathy. You know, they just have to be nasty, evil, and mean and spiteful to people. So we're gonna listen to this video. Let me bring it up. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, come on. I'm trying to get on the stage, y'all.
And this is just the beginning of it all, right?
Oh, okay. Let me know if y'all can hear it. Wait.
I want to share my life with you guys, and this is the very first video that I have to make in this series, and it's not a very fun one, but it's a necessary one. And so I honestly, I always felt like I knew I was going to share this story at some point on my YouTube channel. I've shared my story on my podcast, and I've shared a little bit of it on TikTok. Maybe you've heard the story somewhere because a lot of news people picked it up. Or maybe you've seen bits and pieces of my story shared on Charlotte Dobray's YouTube channel. But it is a completely different thing for me to come on and share my story on YouTube in front of all of my subscribers and people that have been following me for a really long time. And if you didn't know, I'm just gonna do a quick introduction. My name is Lacey, and back in 2009, I was pregnant, and I started making YouTube videos for the very first time. And I was sharing my pregnancy,
Y'all, she was
and I
making
was sharing my
videos
life
before
with you guys.
YouTube
I
started
created
paying.
the tag, what's in my hospital bag. If you guys have
Terry.
seen those tags, I'm the OG creator of that. I did YouTube before people got paid to do it. And I loved it. It was something that I absolutely loved to do. I loved making content. I posted every week. I posted pregnancy updates. And then I got into like sharing, decorating the house and like recipes, and I was doing like a bunch of different content, and you guys all loved it. And I say you guys, even if you weren't here, because a lot of the people that followed me back in 2009 when I was pregnant have followed me over to this channel. And on this channel, this was a dedicated DIY channel because I love doing DIY videos. It was something that I still love doing DIY videos, and I wish I could do more DIY videos, but that's not where my heart is right now. And it's not what I feel called to do anymore right now. I mean, yeah, I still do DIYs, but I feel like I'm being more called to share my story, my truth, and just be real with you guys, share my life, like I know this video is like crazy just by the title, but this is the starting point from where I left off, because what happened is I found out that my mom and my husband were having an affair shortly after I gave birth to our daughter, and I was dealing with chronic illness, and I was at the lowest point in my life. And it was extremely traumatic. And the last thing that I wanted to do was share the story publicly, because I don't think I could have handled another person not believing it. Like I said, it was extremely traumatizing. And even afterwards, it was just one of the hardest things I've ever been through in my life. And I've been through a lot. So like I said, I always knew that I wanted to share this story, but I felt like, obviously, when I found out that my mom and my husband were having an affair, that's the last thing I wanted to do was come on YouTube and say, hey, you guys just caught my mom and my husband having an affair together. Because that, for years, I have felt shame for that. Like, I have felt so disgusting when it's not even mine. It's not even my shame to hold on to. Exactly. I feel like as women in general, we are shamed for everything. The marriage goes wrong. Oh, what did we do wrong? You become a single mom, and now it's, oh, you're a single mom. Like, we don't place any accountability for the man that made her become a single mom, right? And when I said my wedding vows, I meant them. But I was also, honestly, like, if I could be completely honest with you guys, I was honestly relieved that it happened, because that felt like a valid excuse for me to leave the relationship, because I don't know if I ever would have. I didn't have any education. I dropped out of school in 10th grade. I had barely any job experience. When you're talking about me like this happening, it was so traumatizing, because I felt like I had no footing. I had no family to go to. I had, like, even some of my family didn't even believe that it happened, because my mom is such a good manipulator that she had twisted the whole story. And I can share the full story with you guys if you want to know about it. Just let me know. I am a completely open book. Hey, and like I said, this is just the very first video that I'm doing. Like, finally feel like I'm expressing myself. I feel like I am getting my voice back. I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of people that are very angry that I'm doing YouTube videos because of how they treated me. And I'm not doing these videos to shame anybody. I'm not doing them to throw anyone under the bus. I have just felt for the past 15, 16 years that I felt like my voice was taken away. I felt like my power was taken away. And I stopped doing YouTube content when that was one of the things that brought me so much happiness. And I loved doing content. And I was so afraid to share this story, because I was afraid that people wouldn't believe me. And that was like one of my biggest triggers back then, was people not believing this, because it was very real. It happened, and it took a long time to pick up those pieces, right? And also, I didn't want to embarrass
y'all,
my daughter, which she doesn't care.
It really is a shame, because people like her, it's sad that they want to share their story, but they don't share it because the backlash they may get, or people may not believe them and things like that. But she said she always had a feeling that her mom and her husband was sleeping around. But she didn't want to share the story because of the backlash. And people would not believe her. But this lady got tired. She wanted her power and her control back. But I'm quite sure she did see some red flags and she missed them. She overlooked them. And she probably overlooked them because that was her husband, not thinking her husband would do something like that. And that was her mother, thinking her mother wouldn't do that. Then on top of it, she probably was thinking in her mind also, these is the people that I love, my mother and my husband. I don't think they're doing that. You know what I'm saying? So she overlooked it, and she was fighting it as she overlooked it. But in reality, they was really sleeping together.
Talk to her about this. She knows about it, and she is at
Get the commercial out, y'all. It's sad when your own family members do something like this to you. Even a friend, anybody do something like this, you just disgusting. You're nasty.
I've never been one to keep secrets from anybody, and that was never my intention. Like, I feel bad that I had abandoned, I feel like I abandoned you guys when I had built up this community, right? And we were all pregnant together, which you were pregnant with me. And so your kids are the same age as my daughter. And now they're almost 18. And it's like, you spend your life, raising this child, and then now they're about to be graduating. And then what? So I need to do this for me. I need to get my voice back. I need to step into my power, my purpose, do what I feel like I'm called to do. And I hope that this inspires other people. As a matter of fact, like I said, when I was doing YouTube videos back in 2009, I was doing the pregnancy videos, but around the same time, Blair Fowler, which is Juicy Star 07, she was also creating content, but she was a makeup guru, and I would watch her videos all the time, and I would frequently check in with her. And I just saw that she's starting to post consistently now too. And so that was a huge inspiration for me to start doing YouTube videos. And some people think YouTube is dead, no one watches YouTube videos, but I do. I don't even watch, I can't say because I do, but I very no one to thank belong. And I didn't give anyone an explanation. I just shut my channel down. People were left to speculate. And so I want to apologize to you guys for feeling like I had maybe abandoned you guys during a time where maybe you didn't have anybody. I know for me, I was pregnant and raising my baby by myself. And at that time, a community would have been one of the best things for me. But I couldn't face you guys. And it was too hard on me. And I hope that you can understand that. I hope that you can feel my sincerity. It almost makes me cry. It makes me tear up because that was we had really built a community. And I'm still in touch with a lot of people that I was pregnant with. We were pregnant around the same time. I'm still in touch with a lot of you guys. And so it's been awesome watching our kids grow up together and us becoming who we are today. All the twists and turns that life has brought along our way. I feel like a lot of us have eased up our judgment a little bit just because life happens, right? And sometimes it's out of our control with what we can do. I never envisioned or thought that my daughter would be grown up in a broken home, but looking back on it, it is, and I've heard this quote before, but it's better to be from a broken home than in a broken home. And I truly do believe that with every part of me.
True.
I have notes here just because I get rambling and I go off on tangents. And so, when I found out about the affair, it shattered me. It shattered my sense of security. And it made me feel like I had nobody, because it was such a betrayal, right? That I felt like I had nobody.
Absolutely.
And I had just spent like I don't know, like looking back on it, I don't know how I was able to leave and pick up the pieces when I had no solid education. I did get my GED. I told you guys I dropped out in 10th grade, but I did get my GED and I did go to college. But at that time, like, I had nothing. I had nobody. And so it was really overwhelming. And then on top of that, I was dealing with chronic illness. And so I look back at those years and I'm just like, God got me through that, because there's no way I was able to get through that on my own. And then after a couple of years, I ended up getting with a guy, and then I started like DIYing his house, and I'm like, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. And that's when this channel was born, is because I wanted to, do DIYs and, share the projects that I made on my YouTube channel. Like, I always loved doing YouTube, but I didn't want to share my life with you guys at that time. I wanted to share the DIYs, and it's been a fun journey. I mean, like, you may have seen my work in HGTV or Bob Vila or Shutterfly. I've been featured in a lot of places online. I'm really proud of the work that I've done, but I just feel like my heart is calling me to step into this new chapter of my life. And so I actually started a nonprofit. It's called Healing Roots Collective Co. And we are a registered charity. It's a 501c3. And our mission is to support and empower single moms healing from trauma by providing the resources, community, and holistic care needed to break generational cycles and create a thriving, purpose-filled future for themselves and their children. And
I started Tai Chi at 50. Now I'm 68, and doctors ask me for advice.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer.
And I created Healing Roots Collective Co. because of everything that I went through. Like, I went back in time and I was like, okay, if I could create anything, what did I need most during that time? Well, I had chronic illness, so it'd be really awesome to hear about holistic health, affordable healthcare, learning how to support my body naturally and holistically, and being able to detox and learn about how the lymphatic system works, and learn about how energy gets stuck in the body and we can release it, and childhood trauma sticks with us and we need to learn to release that, because if not, It's just going to keep affecting our everyday life. And so I dove deep into all of that. And then I created my nonprofit. So it was called Tiny Homes for Moms Co. And I ended up changing the name of that because the Tiny Homes for Moms, it was really hard to get funding because of the negative connotation that tiny homes has. And I also wanted to focus more on the community aspect, because what was the other thing that I needed when I felt like I had nobody and I was dealing with chronic illness and I was a new single mom? I needed community, right? I needed to feel like I wasn't alone. I needed to feel supported. I needed to feel like my daughter, what is the statistic? I think it says like the average child needs like 6 adults in their life playing an active role in their life. So even just a mom and a dad having a kid, and if that's all that they have is just their mom and their dad, they're still missing out on like their greatest potential. I actually post a lot about statistics on the Healing Roots Collective Co. Instagram page and on their Facebook page. I'll leave that. I'll link down below as well. It's very educational, informative. And then I also do updates, weekly emails, and all of that. So if you're a single mom, or if you're someone that wants to get involved, I'll have all the information linked down in that as well. But my big vision for the nonprofit is, throughout the years, like I said, being a single mom, not having like very much income, but also being denied public housing because they say I made too much money. But then I couldn't qualify for a mortgage because they said that I didn't make enough money, right? I saw a major gap in the housing industry. And so that's where we can't call them tiny homes. We have to call them cottages. But to have affordable cottages that are eco-friendly, built in a neighborhood, surrounded by communities, involved in a wellness village where you can go and we can have like women empowerment classes, and then have, you know, services on site to help with mental, emotional, financial, physical health, to really learn to support ourselves so that we can be the best mom that we can be. And if we have suffered from trauma through relationships, then a lot of times that is also the way to heal, is through relationships. And so I just envision, I have the visions all the time of a big community wellness center where we have eco-friendly cottages and we're living together in an intentional community, and it is beautiful. So if you want to get involved in that, I'm going to have everything down below in the description. If you have any questions or anything like that, definitely look at the website. The website has all the information that you need. Look into that. I'll have everything linked down below. Like I said, I send out a weekly email for that, and I post on socials, very educational posts and stuff. And then I also wanted to just share, because I feel like I want to give you guys some value, right? I don't want to just be talking about all the trauma that I went through. Like, I want to share some valuable things that I've learned through all this. And one of the biggest lessons of all of this is to listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, your gut instinct. Your intuition always knows. Like, I got married to him very young, but I just remember like the warning signs from the very start. Like, I'm not even going to talk about how I met him. I mean, I can if you guys want to know, but that was a big red flag. But then also on the day of our wedding, you know, waiting to come out to walk down the aisle, and my grandpa was the one that was going to walk me down the aisle. And I looked at my grandpa and I'm like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this. And I meant it. And grandpa was just like, shut up. We're going. Everyone's here. And so it was like everything in me knew better. But at that time, I wanted to have I wanted to have a family. I wanted nothing more than to have a family. And that's all that I have ever wanted, is a family. And so I made choices out of that weren't in my best interest. And I knew they weren't in my best interest, but I didn't care because that's what I thought I wanted. And another thing is like people pleasing. I was a huge people pleaser. I would care more about not hurting others than I cared about expressing myself and my truth and my story. And I didn't want to hurt anybody. But at the end, all that was doing was hurting me. Yeah. And when I told you guys, like, I felt like I abandoned you guys, I had the realization in meditation, you may have felt like I abandoned you during when I left YouTube. But what I did, I felt like I abandoned myself. And so I lived with a lot of the shame of that, because I feel like I abandoned what I love to do, right? And I let the fear of what other people think stop me from doing what I knew in my heart that I wanted to do. And I also want to say that, like, because I think I got off on a tangent with this, with the shame, right? As women, we are shamed all the time, like by society, by the patriarchy that's just been passed down. We are shamed for everything. And holding on to this story of my mom and my husband having an affair, like, I don't know why I felt shamed, because I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not the one to feel shame about it, but I did. It's because I feel like, you know, when like Jerry Springer, like this is like Jerry Springer stuff. It's like trailer park stuff. I was raised in a trailer park.
Hold on, I think that's commercial right. Yeah, let's get commercial. Yeah, now her mom was disrespectful, nasty, unloyal, unfaithful to her daughter. Like, why would you do that to your daughter?
Wayfair presents sofas and chairs. Find the perfect sofa at the perfect price with hundreds of options under $9.99.
I don't know if the mom was living with the daughter.
Whoop-de-doo. It's ingrained from us at such a young age. Like, oh, that's Jerry Springer stuff. I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want people knowing about that. And I felt gross about it. I felt like there was something inherently wrong with me because of the people that I surrounded myself with that didn't protect me. They didn't respect me. They didn't even love me. Right. And so realizing that now, has helped me in releasing that shame that I didn't even know I was holding on to. And in turn, that's helped me show up like I am today and actually sharing my story from a healing place rather than, oh, I'm going to share my story and I'm doing this to, make them look bad or anything. It's their own actions that make them look bad. But that's not the reason why I'm doing this. I'm doing it because I want to take my power back and share my story with you guys. Absolutely. And there was nothing shameful about any of that I did. So I know that a lot of you guys can probably resonate with that. Maybe you've been cheated on. Maybe your sister slept with your husband, or maybe your mom slept with your husband, and you're also embarrassed of that, which I feel like it's valid to feel embarrassed, right? But it's not our fault. And the next thing that I wanted to say is like why I'm back. Why am I returning to YouTube now? Like, I feel like I've kind of addressed that, where I feel like I'm taking my power back now. I'm finally ready to share my story, ready to share my life. And what I want this new chapter to look like is I want to build back the community that I had felt like I had created back in 2009, right? Like we were all moms together. We were all going through the pregnancy journeys together. And now I am 37 years old and I'm starting over again. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. I just moved into this apartment not that long ago, getting it all decorated and set up. And I thought about sharing that process with you guys too. But I'm starting over at the age of 37 and finding myself again. So I would love to create that community again here online. I am a very real person. I am an open book. If you guys have any questions or anything, just let me know and I'll try my best to answer them. And I just want to thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. YouTube has always felt like the one platform that has my heart, that I feel like I can come on and be myself and feel like I'm not going to get cut off every 30 seconds or every minute, right? Like TikTok and Instagram, you don't really have that. It's not as intimate. I feel like YouTube is more intimate. People want to watch the long form content. I love watching long form content and I love creating long form content, and my heart is just so happy right now. So I just want to thank you guys for sitting through and listening to this whole thing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. Like I said, I feel like YouTube is the one place where I feel like I'm truly seen and I feel like I'm truly heard. Feel free to message me. I'll also have all my social links listed down below if you guys want to chat through there as well. All right. Thank you guys so much again. And make sure you subscribe if you like this kind of content. If not, totally fine. I completely understand. And like I said, the direction that I want to take this channel is more like life updates. I love just sitting down and talking like this. There's a lot of things that I want to share with you guys about that, like just with this form content, like just sitting down and talking to you guys like you're a friend, because you are. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, y'all. We're going to watch part 2. That's sad. Her own mother, someone that she loved portrayed her in the worst way, to sleep with her husband. That is sad. Now, again, I don't know if the mother was living in the household with her. I'm not sure of that. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is another one that she did. But it doesn't matter whether the mother was living there or not. The mother, she was dead wrong. Like, you sit there, you portrayed your child in the worst way. You looking in your child's face every day while you're out here sleeping with this lady's husband. And he's no better. He was no better. And I'm so glad that. Okay,
so
hold on, y'all. Let me get it from you.
Let's see here. I have some notes.
Let me see. Come on. I don't know why this thing keep going around. Hold on, y'all. Let me just see. I'm trying to get to the second part.
This company is going viral for its new process that gives you permanent teeth in just 24 hours. If you're missing 5 or more teeth, Nuvia.
Okay.
for me. And so I wanted to share the red flags with you guys.
All right, these is the red flags. I'm trying to get to the beginning, y'all, but it seems like it's giving me trouble.
Eating this means a night in for me. I can already anticipate the stomach issues.
But what if that wasn't the case?
Okay.
And
okay. I think that's the beginning of it. Let's see.
come on and share this part of my life as well. And if I want to share a vlog or I want to share, you know, other parts of my life, like, don't get mad at me.
Hey, Prab, good afternoon.
Like, wanting to share other things too, because like I said, this channel is about me, my growth, my healing, my story, sharing my heart, my voice. And I always plan on coming on and being real and truthful. Even if you guys don't like to hear what I have to say, that is my goal, and coming back on YouTube and sharing my voice with you guys, sharing my heart, my voice, my story, my truth. And so today I wanted to share about the red flags that, looking back now, I see that they were red flags. But at the time, it was a constant state of confusion. It was a constant state of feeling like I was going crazy. It was a constant state of hypervigilance, looking over my back, wondering what is going on, because I knew in my heart and soul that something was going on and it just felt off. It didn't feel right. But also you have to remember that this was my mom, right? My mom and my husband, the two people that I was supposed to trust more than anything. However, I can tell you that my mom and I have never really had a great relationship. And that's like for a whole different type of video. But what I can say is that around the age of about 14 years old, that's when things really started changing with our relationship. And I kind of felt like she started to hate me. But again, it's my mom. She's the one person that's been there for me, you know, when my dad basically abandoned me. And so she was the one person that was there. And she always made that known to me. Like, exactly, I've been there for you through everything, right? And she was there for me. And so in a weird way, you know, she wasn't there emotionally for me. She was there physically at times. She was the one adult that I had, and I had my grandparents too, but I don't want to get into all of that. I just want you guys to understand that when this was happening with my mom and my husband having an affair, that's my mom, right? She's the one person that is supposed to have my back, to be there for me. And so I wanted to share the red flags with you guys as I see looking back on it now, because it's been a lot of, like, I've had a lot of time to sit and process this. I've had a lot of time to sit and think about it. I've had a lot of time to sit and try to heal from it. I've had a lot of time to sit there and try to make sense of all of this. And so looking back on it, I can see the red flags now that I didn't see when I was in it. I mean, I can't say I didn't see it, because I did see it, but it didn't seem like I didn't have any validation that they were red flags, right? I did not have any validation, because the two people, my mom and my husband, they weren't going to validate my feelings. Heck no.
They weren't going to validate your feelings because
those feelings.
They were sleeping around, so they didn't care about your feelings.
I was looking for validation from the same people that were
never gonna get validation from a person that's hurting you,
right? And so you can see how confusing that can be. You can see how you could start to feel like you're crazy, right? And so I just want to say that I'm not making this because I want to shame myself. I'm not shaming myself for the past versions of myself that didn't know any better. And so if you're in a situation like this and you are suspecting things and you see a lot of like the same patterns that I'm going to share with you in this video, don't shame yourself, right? We only know what we know, and we're always doing the best we can at the time with what we know and what we're able to do in that situation. I truly believe that everyone is trying to do their best, and we got to give ourselves grace. And
yeah, you sure do.
We got to
beat yourself up from people like that. From people like her mom and the husband, you can't. If you come to grips and see what's really going on,
trust ourselves, man, because no one else is going to be able to give you that same validation, the same trust that you can build with yourself. So let's see here. I have some notes because you guys know I like to go off on tangents. Oh yeah. The one thing that I wanted to mention is that, you know, like when my mom started treating me like I was the enemy at the age of 14 years old, it really messes with your sense of reality. It messes with your sense of identity as well. And that's why I believe I missed a lot of the red flags, because my world was never validated. Just for a little bit of context, I don't want to get into all of this, but just for one example, like she would buy me alcohol at the age of like 14 years old and then call the cops on me. And so that's what as I was growing up at the age of 14, 15 years old, that's what I was learning was my reality, trying to justify and validate, and like really confused about what the heck was going on, what was happening, you know, and getting put into girls' schools and behavioral centers because she hated me. Like, I really feel like she hated me. And so that's what I was growing up with. Like I said, my dad left when I was 14. And so that really messed with my sense of identity and my sense of safety and the trust that I had within myself, because I knew in my heart and soul, like, what they're saying is lying. What she's saying is not true. What my parents are saying and doing is not true. That's not really what happened. Like, here I am, this little kid who's defending me, who is protecting me, and I didn't know any better. That's just how it felt. It felt very unsafe. And so when you're constantly trained to ignore your intuition, and you're constantly trained to, like when you're constantly in a state of confusion, when you're constantly trained to like ignore your own intuition, it becomes really hard to be able to trust yourself and to trust the red flags that you know you're seeing, but you're just thinking that it's all in your head, right? And so that really messed with me for a long time. Thankfully, now I'm an adult and I can make adult decisions, and I know when people are messing with me. But at the time, these are the red flags that I noticed within the relationship, that it was like just felt off. And I knew that something deeper was going on. But like I said, I'm not going to shame myself for not seeing it back then, because I did see it. But I'm not going to shame myself for staying in that situation, because like I said, I feel like everyone is doing their best with what they know and what they have and what they're able to do in that situation. So I did the best I could in that situation. And so again, if you're dealing with this or you see some patterns, you know, I know a lot of people are watching my videos because they resonate with my story. That's nothing. Like I've said before, like this is like Jerry Springer's type stuff. And the reason why I feel like Jerry Springer was the way it was is because they're trying to make it seem like this kind of stuff only happens with those types of people, right? Like they want you to feel ashamed about it. But the truth is that it happens so much more than you will ever know. There's so many people out there that, you know, their best friend has slept with their husband, their sister slept with her husband, their father has slept with their wife. Like this,
absolutely, that's so
true. Their
true.
Cousins, like so many people have messaged me and, you know, told me that I'm not alone. And I just want to thank you guys for opening up to me and also feeling safe and creating this community where it's a really safe community to feel like we can express ourselves, to be able to talk and relate with one another, because this is what it's all about. It's about building that community, that connection, and feeling validated in your experiences and in your feelings. And so, like I said, as I share these red flags, don't shame yourself. know that you're doing the best that you can given your situation. Give yourself grace and validate yourself, because your feelings, your emotions are true, whether people want to believe them or not. Whatever you feel is coming up for you, that's true for you. So it's important to validate how you feel. And so also today on my notes, it says like, I want to talk to you about it today from a place of like self-love and growth, rather than regret and shaming myself, shaming the past version of myself. I was like 21 years old. I was so young. I was a baby. So I think that would also be a really good video idea. Like share like what I could go back to my 21-year-old self. I think that would be a really good video idea. Also, someone told me in my comments that they think I have ADHD. So they're probably not wrong. But anyway, hang with me, you guys. Okay, so
hey, Pam.
also, if you are coming from a place, maybe you've left the relationship and maybe you're beating yourself because you ignored the red flags for a long time, just know that you're not alone. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're human, and what matters is that we can choose now. We can choose to see with our eyes open and not make excuses for poor behavior, right? Also, some of these red flags that I share with you, like I said, I'm being vulnerable, I'm being open, I'm being real with you. Some of these that I may share, you guys may be like, wow, you're an idiot. Of course they were having an affair. How could you not see that? Like I said, have some grace with me, have some compassion with me, and know that this is how I was raised. And I was young. Okay. Like I said, I'm not shaming myself, so please don't shame me. I'm sharing this with you to be open and real and authentic about my experience. And I trust that this is going to be a safe space for me to do so. I'm not asking you to like bite your tongue, but just be kind. Okay. Be kind in the comments and be kind to one another, because if you're not kind, I'm going to block you from my channel. The first red flag is how I met him. Like I said, I was young. I was 19. Actually, I was like younger. When I physically met him in person, I think I was like 18 years old. But I was so young. I think we got married when I was 19 years old. So just being that young, and also how I met him is, like I said, I was in girls' school when I was younger, and my roommate is his sister. And so here I was in this, girls' school, and I was lonely, I was bored, and a pen pal sounded like a fun idea. So we wrote, and also he was in prison. He was in prison, I was in a girls' school, perfect match, right? And so we just wrote, we were pen pals for a couple of years, and then eventually I met him, and then we got married shortly after. You guys, we didn't even really date. Like, we just got together. I wanted nothing more than a family. And I said this before in my other video, is that I wanted a family so bad that I ignored my intuition. At that time, I didn't know that's what my intuition was, but I ignored my intuition because I thought,
when emergency strikes, first responders rely on the latest technology. That's why T-Mobile created
y'all,
T Priority, built for the 5G era. Only
that I wanted a family more. Like, I didn't care that my intuition was screaming at me. I'm like, I don't care. I want a family. And I felt like I was running out of time to do that, even though I was only, 19 years old when I got with him. I wanted a family. I wanted to settle down, and I ignored my intuition, not knowing that that's what it was at the time, because that's what I thought I wanted. I thought that I wanted a family more. And so because I was really young. We didn't really date. We didn't really get to know each other. I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I didn't like. I always tell my daughter too, like, you have to date someone at least for a year to see their true colors. You got to see them mad. You got to see how they react when they're having a bad day. You got to be able to see them through some hard times for them to really show who they really are. And I tell my daughter that now all the time. And so at that time, I didn't know these things.
You see what they like in the morning.
And I just wanted a family. So the red flags were, you know, he was obviously in prison. I was in a girls' school. I would never want that for my daughter. I would never want her to be writing someone in prison. I mean, I know we all make mistakes. And that's another thing too. I was grown up, my grandparents and my mom always said, give everyone a chance. People can change. Those are the two things that I am not telling my daughter. And I'm actually made a TikTok about this the other day, is that those are the two things that I will never tell my daughter. Yes, people can change. We can hope and we can pray for them to change, but we don't need to sit there and we don't need to try to change them, because if we love them, we're not going to want to change them, right? If we love them, we're not going to want to change them. We can hope the best for them, but you're not going to be able to change anybody. They are who they are, and that's who they are. Exactly, and at the end of the day, this is about the values of a person. We did not have the same values. And that's also learning that we didn't have the same values. And that's really what this affair was all about. I was able to stop internalizing that it was about me. This had nothing to do about me. This affair had nothing to do about me. It was about the values of my mom and husband. They obviously had the same values, if any, than I did. And so when you're dating someone, you're getting to know them, figure out what their values are. At that time, we didn't date very long. We didn't talk about values. We wrote each other love letters without even knowing each other. And so we were both in a vulnerable position, right? He's in prison. I'm in a girls' school. We're both in a vulnerable position. That's the last thing that we probably needed to do was, be worried about getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend at that time. But at that age, that's what we were doing. And then the third red flag is my intuition. I didn't listen to my intuition. Like I said, at that time, I didn't know that that's what it was. But there was always something in me that said, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. Something is going on. So my intuition, my heart knew what was going on, but my brain was trying to justify, make excuses for, trying to rationalize, trying to understand. I was so confused, and I was stuck in my brain trying to process what I was seeing, what I was hearing. And also, like, that's my mom. There's no way she would do that to me. That's my husband. There's no way he would do that to me. There's no way that they're together. Like, that's disgusting. There's no way that they actually find each other attractive. Like, he's young enough to be her son, and she's old enough to be his mom. There's no way that this is happening. There's no way this is happening. This can't be happening. Then what the heck are they doing? Like, it's so obvious that they have something going on, but why are they lying about it? Why are they denying it? Why can't they be honest? Why are they, acting like there's nothing going on? That's what my brain was saying, right? Trying to justify, trying to understand, trying to rationalize, trying to make sense of it all, especially because of all the gaslighting that was going on and everything that I was experiencing at that time. And my intuition was screaming, like, they're sleeping together. They hate you. They don't want to be around you. You need to get the heck out of here. They could care less about you, honestly. Like, they literally hate you. Like, I know what I'm seeing. I know what is true. I know what's going on.
Exactly, but my brain, April. That's painful.
This can't be happening. This is my mom and my husband. There's no way.
They want her out of her own
There's
house.
No way. So your intuition isn't always going to tell you what you want to hear. That's the thing. Your brain is going to try to make excuses for and try to make sense of it, but your intuition is like, yes or no.
Like, they wanted her out of her own house.
Same old phone?
What type of shit was that?
Upgrade to the new
her
Galaxy
mother
Z
was a
Fold
straight
7.
narcissist, and he was too. And I told y'all before,
Wayfair
men that come out
presents
of prison,
lighting.
and women too,
Get
they're
the latest
narcissists.
looks with top fixtures at low prices and a huge lineup of floor lamps.
They are definitely narcissists.
Like, yes or no. Like, it's going to tell you either way. But a lot of times, oftentimes, we will spend years trying to rationalize that voice inside of us, trying to understand it, trying to make it make sense, stuck in a state of confusion, wondering, doubting, questioning, feeling like we're going crazy, right? And there's literally women that get because they don't listen to their intuition. So it is a gift. It is such a gift. And we can sit there and
always said
be in our heads all day and all night, but it's not going to change our intuition that is screaming at us. Get out, right? Okay. So going back to like all of this, just to give some context also, this is another red flag, is like my mom was living in the basement.
Oh, so
she was living with us at our house. She was living in the basement. And
so he had
whenever my ex-husband and I, whenever we would be fighting or arguing, she would come up from downstairs and she would get into our arguments and always pick his side. She would basically tell me that I was overreacting, that it's all in my head, I'm too sensitive. They would both say that, actually. So they would both think that I was crazy, right? Like, you're crazy. You're making things up. You're being too sensitive. And basically just make me feel crazy. But she would always pick his side. And then they would just constantly gang up on me all of the time. And like I said, my heart knew, but my brain is like, there's no way. There's no way this is really happening right now. And I would oftentimes, whenever I would be talking to one of them, they would be like rolling their eyes at each other about me constantly.
Wow.
They'd constantly roll their eyes. They would make faces behind my back, like, trying to make me feel like I was crazy, or I was being, what's the word? I was being like
delusional,
irrational, too sensitive, and all of you guys, this one's, and I found out later that on Valentine's Day, actually gave her art or chocolate, and he the time there and stay, like he told me. So that wasn't, I couldn't really say that that was a red flag at the time because I didn't know about it. So obviously it's a red flag now, looking back, and now that I know that he did that. But at the time, I just thought he was working overtime. He just didn't come home on time. So anyway, those are the red flags. But above all else, like, if you don't take anything away from this other than the fact that you need to listen to your intuition and being able to tell the difference between your heart and your brain, I hope that you at least take that away. And like I said, don't shame yourself. Don't internalize it, because this affair it has nothing to do with you. It's about the values, the morals and the values of the people that are cheating. It has nothing to do with you. You did nothing wrong. But start to validate yourself. Start to really lean into your own values and validating what your intuition is telling you. I can do a whole other video on that. You guys, I have so many. that I feel, and if you my battery is about to die. Let me know if any. Oh, goodbye.
Now, do y'all see?
There is no limitation.
When I tell you that you can't trust people, sometimes not even your own family members, that they will do some nasty shit like this to you. And it's very sad. And I know this lady is very heartbreaking. She's broken right now, you know? She's heartbroken. Her own mother, her own husband. Now, I didn't know the mother was living down in the basement until she said it. So that's why he has so much of easy access, you know, to this woman. So when this woman goes out and go to work or do whatever she needs to do, they was messing around. Yeah, there was gaslighting her. And that's why we say, follow your gut. Follow your gut. When you feel something ain't right, it is not right. Even if you can't put your hand on it at that right time to say what it is something not right. But it will click. But you got to be ready for the red flags. You got to be ready. You can't ignore them. When the red flags are coming in your eyesight, in your vision, so you can see it, that's what it is. Now, it's up to you to do something about it, to approach the person, and then try to get out of the situation, or you stay with it and ignore it like she did. But by you ignoring it, sometimes it's going to hurt you more and more and more and more because you already see it. You just ignoring it because your brain is not processing what is really going on. Like her brain wasn't. She knew something was wrong. She knew that her husband and her mother was messing around, but she just couldn't process it. So the longer she was processing it and trying to really come to grips and tell herself this is really what's going on, the more she was getting hurt inside. She was feeling pain. And the more that she was giving them access to sleep together. And I'm like, April, I just can't imagine like how she was feeling. Someone she loved and she married. You know, and she did admit that they didn't get to know each other well. You know, he was in jail. She was in the girls' school and all that stuff. So it's like she had childhood trauma. He had trauma going on. So they became what? Codependents, right? And they clicked up together. And it went on from there. You know, and sometimes when you have trauma in your life like that and it hasn't been broken, you're going to continue to keep in the same people in life. And sometimes a lot of people ask, why I keep attracting the same man, the same woman? You know, because you have never went and got that healing that you need. And until you get the healing that your heart desires to make you feel loved, be a better person, build your self-esteem, you are better, you're going to keep attracting those same people. Those same people are going to keep sending you ring around the roses. They're going to keep hurting you. That's all. That's all what's going to happen. I'm sorry she went through that, you know, but I thank God that she came to grips with it. And now she want to educate other people. I'm proud of her. Yes, codependent together. Yep, they became codependent together. And that's what I'm doing now, y'all. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing big things on my Instagram now, y'all. So, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff over there. Really, really have. I'm going to do one-on-ones over there with people. yeah, so I'm not bringing any of that to YouTube because I don't want any of that on my YouTube channel. I want to build a big platform over there. I want to do something better over there. I want to be great over there. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been working on over the weekend, doing things over there like that. I dropped a beautiful video today. Everybody loved it. I did a lot of notes today, what I'm going to be talking about, the one-on-ones that I'm going to have with people, the prices I'm going to do over there. With one-on-ones with people. So yeah, I'm doing great things over there on my Instagram channel. I don't want to bring it to YouTube. I don't want to be in this sector with it. You know what I'm saying? I want to build over there and bring in more people that I don't know versus that I know. You know, so yeah, that's what I've been doing over there. But I'll still be doing YouTube, but I'm not bringing that over here. I'm going to keep that over there, and I'm going to build from there. And I did reach out to a big content creator that I do fuck with on YouTube so he can help me build over there, share me out on his TikToks and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing over the weekend. So I'm going to definitely be dropping a lot of knowledge over there about. I see a lot of people that I follow on Facebook. They going through a lot with the one lady I follow. I inboxed her and told her, I said, your daughter seems like she's a narcissist. You know, I told her the truth. And she's very young. Her daughter is very, very young. So she told me she's going to follow me on IG. I'm going to be dropping a lot of quotes over there. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff over there on that channel. Some people I'm going to start to block and I don't even want to be bothered, like literally. Because I want better things, you know. I want to help people, you know, because you know, a lot of people don't know about narcissist behavior. A lot of people really don't. A lot of people don't know that they have narcissistic siblings. A lot of people don't know they have narcissist kids, narcissist parents. You know, a lot of people, some people may know about it. They don't know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much breakdown of it. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people don't know. And I want to be the one that give them the breakdown of narcissistic siblings, parents, husbands, wives, co-workers. So yeah, that's why I'm building. That's why I'm doing that. So I got great content coming over there. When I get off now, I'm going to go over there because I got to start doing some more stuff over there. So I'm going to do like for an hour session, it's going to be $25. For 2-hour sessions, it's going to be $50. Your third session will be free. So yeah, those are things that I'm working on, that I'm doing. So yeah. Hey Latoya. So those are things that I'm doing over there. Yep. Building things up, y'all. Sometimes you got to go where God leads you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been doing. So y'all, that was it for the day. I'm going to get up off here because I got to go do some work over there. And I got to look for me some stories for over here tomorrow. I love it, D. Praying for your success. And oh, thank you, April. Thank you so much. I've been working hard, April, on the backside. I really have. I really, really been working hard. I have. And I just pray about it and just ask God to lead me in the right direction. Ask God to lead people to me that really need help and need someone to guide them and talk to them and stir them in the right direction and help them with their healing and their pain and things like that. So yeah, I have been praying about it. I really have. And I'm just going to go on with it, you know. I'm going to go on with it and just see what God takes me with it. You know what I'm saying? You never know how successful that you can be in things and until you try it out. You know what I mean? But everything will always be kept confidential. That's a fact. Because I don't do stuff like that. I have coached a lot of my supporters on the back end before I even thought about doing something like this. You know, I've gave them great advice, and they have came back and told me, "Oh my God, D, thank God for you." You know, so that's something I always had. You know, I just always had that in my heart and in my mind to help other people. Always. And that's what I want to do. So yeah. I think maybe this weekend that I'm gonna do because I wrote down all my stuff that I want to talk about. So my first project is going to be talking about narcissist children, right? That's my first project I'm going to do over there. I already wrote everything down. I might have to break the video up because it is a lot. So I might break it up in part 1 and part 2. And my goal is to put them out there. So if people having these problems with their kids and see these things, because I want to talk about it, because they may see these signs in their children, right? And maybe want to hit me up and say, "Oh my God, I see these signs in my children," you know, and they may want to set up something with me. We can talk about it or whatever the situation is. But I'm going to start off with narcissist children. So that's my first goal that I'm doing, because I see a lot of people is having problems. And then my second one is going to be narcissist siblings. That's my second videos that I'm going to be dropping. I'm going to be doing live so people can see me. You know, they can communicate with me in the chat. So it's a lot. April, go on over there and follow me, baby. Go on over there. Go on. I'm going to send it to Brittany, and Brittany can send it to you. Okay? If you okay with that. So that's what I'm working on, y'all. I'm working on big goals. I'm just working on goals. I want to be, you know, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. Sometimes I feel sad too, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, I can help somebody else, you know? Hey, Miss Nina, Miss Elwes. So, you know, it's always a blessing that, you know, you can help other people with. Thank you so much, Auntie Tracy. Thank you, baby. I love you. So, that's what I want to do. Yes, please do. I thought I was already. Okay, well, I'm going to send it to her, and you inbox me. What you do, inbox me so I can know that it is you, and I can make sure. Because like a lot of people, if I don't really communicate with people like that, I will lose focus on who is who, because it's just so much for me sometimes. But I would definitely send it to Brittany and stuff. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go and finish working on what I got to work on for the other platform. And thank y'all for timing in today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. If you guys would like to donate a coffee or something, you can. And thank you so much, April. Thank you so much, Brittany. Thank you for my moms that came in today. I appreciate you guys. And April, I would definitely send that over to Brittany as soon as I finish. I would definitely send that over to her for you. And I thank you so much. I thank everybody, because you know, I don't know, y'all. I was thinking about this for the whole month of July. I really was. And I reached out to some of my supporters, and they was like, D, go for it. And Brittany was one of them. She said, because you have a powerful voice, you know a lot about it. You know, you went through a lot in your life. And she told me to go for it. And I said, thank you so much. So to all the ones that gave me encouragement this weekend and throughout the month of July when I was thinking about it, I want to say I appreciate y'all so much. I really do. I appreciate y'all so much for encouraging me to keep going. So I love you guys. Thank y'all for timing in. Be safe out here on these YouTube streets. Be safe in your real life. Always remember to keep God first. And I love you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And April, I'm going to send that over for you right now. Peace and love.